Okay, problem 15 asks you to identify the equation of a circle. Okay, or I'm sorry, the center's coordinates and the radius. And it gave you an equation to start with. Now, as I write it down, I'm going to go ahead and group it how I suggested your first step be. So I'm going to leave a space, group the x terms and leave a space to complete the square. I'm then going to group the y terms and leave a space to complete the square for that. And then I'm going to set it equal to 12. Okay. When you complete the square, okay, you're always going to follow the same process. You're going to take half of your first degree terms coefficients. So I'm going to complete the square twice, once for the x's and once for the y's. So I'm going to take half of negative 12. Half of negative 12 is negative 6, and I'm going to square that. Negative 6 squared is positive 36, so I'm going to add that to both sides of my equation. The whole reason I do that is this now allows me to rewrite these three terms as a binomial square. And the binomial will always be x as my first term, and my second term is always going to be half. It's the number that I squared to get 36. So half of negative 12, which was negative 6. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the y's. I take half of my first degree terms coefficient. So half of positive 2 is positive 1. I'm going to square that. Positive 1 squared is 1, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And once again, this allows me to rewrite this as a binomial square. It's always going to have the form of y as my first term, and then half of this first degree term's coefficient as my second. So half of positive 2 was a positive 1. And then I just combine my like terms, all my constants over here on the other side. So I have 12 and 36 is 48 plus 1 gives me 49. Okay, so here's the equation of my circle. Okay, if that has been the question, I'm done. What it asks me to do is identify the coordinates of the center. Okay, the center is going to have the coordinates, the x coordinate of whatever value will give you a 0 inside this binomial. So that's a 6. The y coordinate for your center is whatever value of y would give you a 0 in this set of coordinates, or in this binomial, which is negative 1. And then your radius is just taking whatever your number is that's set over on the far right, which is equivalent to r squared, and just identifying if r squared was equal to 49 and you wanted to solve for r, just square root both sides. You get plus or minus 7. The radius has to be a positive value, so you get 7 for your answer. Okay, so this is what your answers would be for that problem.